Alright, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Malak Yahushai. That is to say, Yahweh being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahweh Shai being named His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Casadia from WFI Jersey, Philly. You know, it's a WFI in transit, but nevertheless, this story must go out. You know, the story must go out. What you're looking at on your screen, it says Russia's intelligence service, right? So pretty much the equivalent of their so-called CIA. It says their intelligence service worked for nearly a decade to recruit members of fringe U.S. political groups to advance pro-Russia propaganda, according to an indictment. So what do you mean? What does it mean by U.S. fringe groups? Well, fringe is someone that's normally on the verge of they're always teaching hot topic issues, or they're political. They're always going against different things that's in the politics and things like that. For instance, if we come out and speak against those that's against pro-life, I'll leave it like that. If we come out against those, speaking out against those that's considered worldly, and if you got ears to hear, you know what we're talking about. We don't want to say too much. They have a tendency to just flag our channel, so we don't want to say too much. But if you got ears to hear, then this is for you anyway, right? So what they're saying is that these Russians, they've been sending over spies in a form of these different quote-unquote fringe groups. Now, I mean, it don't take a genius to kind of put two and two together on what this video is going to be about. If you didn't look at the title of the video, you just clicked on the video, saw a new cold cut, and you just clicked on it, then it doesn't take a genius to put two and two together to understand how they're going to tie us into this thing right here. So if brothers remember, and you can do your research on this, back in the 50s, if you were against America at all, hold on. If you were against America at all, then you were considered what? You were considered a communist. Hold on. There's a lot going on. Right? Might have to, do some things with that. But you were considered a communist. They would call you a commie. I think this man named John McCarthy, an Edomite, he was leading this front over in America. Again, like I said, if you were against America at all, you were against the so-called regime, if you was against going to war against Vietnam, and all your brothers and even women that was sent over to Vietnam War, Jake specifically I'm talking about, and if you were against that, if you were standing up against that, you were considered a commie. Or if you were against Jim Crow era, and against the different things of that nature, then you were considered what? A commie. So the point of me bringing this out is they're going to do the same thing, and this was during the height of Cold War. I mean, this was any second that nuclear button would have been pushed, and the whole world would have vanished into smoke. But it wasn't time for that. So that Cold War was just a premonition, so to speak, a premonition, right? A prelude. That's the word I'm really looking for. A prelude to the time that's on this earth right now. Right? This is the real so-called Cold War. This is about to be World War III. In the makings. Destruction on the earth. Nuclear missiles. ICBMs on the earth. Hypersonics on the earth. Hypergliders on the earth. This is what we're looking at. So what's going on is, again, these Americans, they're going to deem us being in these, us teaching, and us being in these different camps, really those that's in so-called One West, right? Because you can be in GOCC, you can be in camps that show themselves friendly to the heathen, and they're not going to be regarded or looked at as a threat. We're just going to put it out there. If you new to this, you didn't know, that's how they get down. But those that teach the doctrine of Yahushua HaMashiach. Those that teach and speak with the spirit of prophecy, these are going to be those that's going to be targeted a little differently, right? So I'm going to click on this article. Let's click on this article and let's go in there. Now, I mean, if you may hear in the background already, I'm on a move. I'm on a move, but this word don't stop. So it says what? It says Russian national indicted for co-opting U.S. fringe groups. It says federal prosecutors say whatever that man's name was used black socialists and California sectionalists to promote Russian propaganda and sow discord in U.S. Now, us teaching his word, they're literally going to say we sow discord in the U.S. Let's get something. Salakia, I'm looking let me type in my Bible real quick. All right, hold on, not that neither. All right, let's pull this thing up. So, by us teaching his word, they're going to say that we sow discord, right? Actually, let me get this real quick in the book of Acts, right? Chapter 17, and I'm going to start at verse, where do I want to start? I start at verse, right? I might have to start at verse 6. I'll just start at 6. This is Acts chapter 17 and verse 6. And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, crying, these that have turned the world upside down are come hither also, right? Whom Jason had received, and these all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahushua. And we're not saying there's another king. We're not saying that there's Putin, there's Biden, there's these oligarchs, these men that rule behind closed doors. We're not saying that there's a Rothschilds. We're not saying, all these men that are kings as well. No, they're only set up for a season. But the only true king is none other than Yahweh and the name of his son Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So they're already putting these different things out there. We're the ones that's turning the world upside down. I mean, they did this during the time of Paul. They did this during the time of Peter and the other apostles. They did this during the time of James. That's why they killed James in the book of Acts, the 12th chapter. He was killed by Herod, Acts 12 and 1 on down. Right? That's why Peter was murdered. Right? Being crucified upside down. Not making himself equal to his Lord Yahushua. Right? That's why Paul was beheaded in the same year as Peter in 64 AD over in Rome. Get his head chopped off. Guillotines rolling up. So this is why these different things was going on. Because what? Because as men of the Lord, we're deemed as, like the brother just brought out, public enemy number one. We're the chief men that go against this society. We're not looked at as nice guys. We're not looked at as lovable men. You just want to give us a teddy bear and a damn heart-shaped box with all different pieces of chocolate in it. And you just want to rub on our feet and kiss us and give us the damn grandmom hugs and feed us your favorite peach cobbler. We not those men. The Lord wasn't that man. So we're the men that exceedingly we trouble the city up, man. Last night in Philly, we had to deal with some sodomites. We had to almost put hands on some damn filthy, booty popping sodomites, man. Right? So what? We trouble the city. We're men that go against the regime. We're men that go against the power that's been set up. We're men that blow the horn and blow the shofar and let our people know what's going on. We're men that like to yell and speak as a voice of many waters, like our Lord Yahushua. We're men that cry aloud and we don't spare a damn soul, man. We're men that when we usher out our word, it burns up our enemies, like it tell you in the book of Psalm, the 39th chapter and the 3rd verse. Sirach chapter 48 verse 1, right? Second Kings, the 1st chapter, the 10th verse. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 14. Jeremiah 20:9. Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse number 29. That's how we get down. Through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yashai. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 5. So that's how we get down, and guess what? We're deemed as a cult for doing it. Actually, let me go back real quick. Let me get this in a blue letter. And like I said, I'm on a move. I'm driving. You can hear it in the back. I'm on a move. We gotta go. Now, this is Acts. Right, we gotta go to camp. This is Acts chapter 23. What did I want? Acts 23, and I'm gonna go to verse 14. It says what? But this I confess unto thee, after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my fathers, believe in all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. Now, when you go into other translations, that word heresy, it means a cult, right? So they try to deem us as a cult. Actually, I'm gonna get it in another translation, just to show you, right? I'm gonna go to Bible Hub, a trusted source, right? The Bible Hub. Let's go to this Bible Hub, right? Let's go to Acts. Let's go to Acts chapter 24 and verse number 14 in the Bible Hub. All right, when we don't want this, we want a parallel. Let's click parallel. Let's go down to, what do we want to get? We want to get the NLT, the New Living Translation. It says what? But I admit that I follow the way which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets. So that's what Paul meant by after the way which they call heresy. Because what did they say to Paul? They said in the 6th verse, let's read that. I started at verse 5. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow. So they said, look, Paul, look, you're one that's causing trouble in our city. We had this coon, I don't know if I can say that word, but this man who turned away against his own people. I say it like that. This man who turned away against his own people. What happened? This man in Philly, he would come out, he would hold these signs up with a megaphone, and he would scoff at us. He did this for like 2 weeks straight. And I could never seem to catch this man. Every time he came up, another brother was teaching. And I didn't want to just rip the microphone from a brother. So I let the brother do what he do. But I was supposed to be going either next, or I just finished teaching, or whatever the case may be. And he would kind of just come up. So he did this for like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks straight. Then I finally caught this man. And it was I was teaching, he popped up, and he kind of wanted to get out of there too. And we got the video on our channel. You could go to WFI Jersey Philly. You can look up Captain so-and-so strikes again, or Captain so-and-so gets ripped. You know, we had some videos. It was a few months ago, back in March, February, right? So you can look it up. I got like a red hoodie on, but you know, check it out if you can. If you can, it is what it is. Nevertheless, the point of me bringing this out, he would come out and say, we have a damn, I don't know if I can use this word, but nevertheless, he'll come out and say, we have a hate group in our city. Then he say, we're the black letter. I'll leave it like that. If you got ears to hear it, you know what we talking about. But he'll say, you know, we have a hate group in our city, and he's coming up against us. And he'll just scoff the whole time and say, Jesus loves everybody. Jesus saves. Jesus saves. He'll say it like 10,000 times in his loud ass microphone or his megaphone. So we turn the microphone on and we get to going. We get to cutting and slicing and dicing, and he can't stand in the lion's den. But guess what? That's the same thing that Paul was doing. For we have found this man, a pestilent fellow, they say, and a mover of sedition among all Jews. A mover of sedition among all Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. And that's who we are. We're ringleaders. We're men who cause things that happen in the earth. By us teaching the word, by us ministering, right? The Lord said nothing, he will reveal nothing but to the servants of prophets, paraphrasing. Nothing will happen in the earth unless he reveal it to the servants of prophets. So these things, they got to go through us. And then they're gonna take place in the earth, man. So they hate us from teaching this word, man. They strongly detest the Lord Yahweh Shai. They strongly detest their God Yahweh, right? The God of all things. And guess what? They're going to hate the men of the Lord too. So going back to this, they're considering those that sowing discord in the U.S. and they so-called promote Russian propaganda as what? Russian spies. And if you didn't know this, then this goes hand in hand with being tied in with espionage. The Espionage Act is what? The Espionage Act is you being tied in with being a spy, right? Being down with a Russian, right? They had this whole time period where they would try different men. You may have heard of the man named tell us his man name, is Edomite. Edward Snowden, right? Snowden, he was literally considered a Russian spy because what? He literally was a whistleblower and blew the whistle on all different things that was going on and taking place over in America, over here in America, and how they would spy on us and how they would use their different hold on, give me a second. How they would use their intelligence and things of that nature to basically spy on us, right? With our phones and things of that nature. So, I mean, we in the same token, we're going to be known as espionage. You're right. We'll get tried with the Espionage Act. And if you didn't know, one of the ways for a death penalty over in America is to be tried on the Espionage Act. They were either send you to ISIL, they were either send you to electrocution via electric chair. They would give you the needle, or they would do what? They would give you the guillotine. They would give you the damn guillotine. Look it up. I can't pull up everything, but you can look this thing up. So let's read on this. Now I'm not subscribed to this thing, so we can only get this next article. But it says Russia's intelligence service worked for nearly a decade to recruit members of fringe political groups into the United States to advance pro-Russia propaganda. And that's what we do. We're not necessarily teaching about Russia. We don't give a damn about that. But we teach that America's going to be destroyed by Russia. We teach that Russia is going to be the last Edomite empire in charge. We teach those things out of the Holy Scriptures. And they're going to come up to us and they're going to scratch their head like, how do these men know this? These men must be Russian spies. We have to get them out of our country. That'd be one way for the whole United States, the whole world to hate the men of the Lord. For us to really be deemed as so-called extremists. Now, again, this is what we're faced with. Now, I wanted to pull this thing up. I wanted to go a little deeper before I have to get out, close up this video. But I want to go a little deeper and pull this man up right here. Who is this man? Let's look this man up. So, it says what? Let's pull this thing up. So, believe this is what I want. I had another article. Hold on, I might have had another article on this. I had another article somewhere, somehow. Okay, this is what I had did. I had looked this thing up. There's something else also out here too that they have. Now there's this party known as the Black Hammer Party, right? Now this Black Hammer Party, let's look this thing up. Let's go to the news. This Black Hammer Party, it says what? It says black-led radical group. Right, this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Black-led radical group based in Atlanta linked to alleged what? Let's go to this. Basically, it's talking about this group, these Jakes, who's linked and they're implicated in Russian influence scheme. So it says the U.S. Department of Justice had connected the Black Hammer Party, a black-led radical group based in Atlanta, to an alleged Russian plot to sow discord in the United States, according to a newly unsealed federal indictment. And again, we not subscribed to this, so we can't. Salakia, I was rudely interrupted, Salakia, you know. But nevertheless, let's go to this. So what I was saying was, when you pull up this Black Hammer Party, it says it's an American black separatist political organization founded in Atlanta, Georgia. I can't read everything. I'm gonna jump down though. It's some important points. It's some important points. It says what? It says I'll start here. It says by 2020. Let's pull this. Let's kind of get this. Read this article. It says by 2020. Membership increased significantly following the murder of George Floyd and the ensuing protests across the United States, with the organization amassing hundreds of members in chapters across the country. The group called for a Black and Native American-led revolution and a separate homeland, as well as reparations from white colonizers, whatever. The Daily Beast described the group's rhetoric as anti-white and anti-Semitic. Now, don't they say we teach anti-Semitic? That doesn't make no damn sense when we're Shemites. We literally descend from Shem, right? Adam, right? Seth, right? Shem, right? Or Noah, Shem, Eber, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's who our descendants are. So they're saying we're anti-Semitic, meaning they're saying really we're against those that claim to be Jews. And they are not. But what? But are the synagogue of Satan. Revelation 2:9. Right? Those that say they are Jews and do lie, behold, the Lord is going to show that he loves us and make them bow down and worship before our feet. Revelation 3:9. So that's what it means when they're saying that. So these men, they're posing. Hey, look, I'm led to believe that they're going to use these men to basically provoke us to be jammed up out here. That's what it's going to be. Now, they go out and they call these Edomites Karen or Bleach Demon and Parasite and different things like that. They must have been watching some videos and they're kind of trying to, they're doing things that we don't really do too much. We use the word. Right, we use the word to chop down in pieces different these different people, right? These different heathen. But let's read this. It says Kazudu, right, which is one of their leaders, himself from Black Lives Matter, he stated that this was because of my stance on that word right there, and the act that I started reading the Bible more. He started to do what? Read the Bible more. So now they're going to link this group with the Bible. And not only are they going to link the group with the Bible, they're also going to link us because we teach the Bible. And some of the stances that they, deem themselves with, they're going to try to link us with those things right here. So I don't want to go too much longer. I want to bring this verse out, and I'm going to get back to driving. This is what? St. Luke. What I want? I want to go to, no, I don't want that. I want Mark. No, I'm going to get Luke. I want Luke. Luke 21. It's lucky. This is Luke 21. I'm going to get even better precept to the Spirit. Right? I'm going to get wisdom of Solomon. I don't want to say even better precept, but I'm going to get another precept, I should say. Right? Let's go to Sirach. Sirach chapter 43. And I'm going to go to verse 10. It says what? At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order. Right? This is really going into the different hosts of heaven. The stars, the moon, the sun. They don't just decide to fall out the sky or drop down. They stand in their order. And what? And never faint in their watches. So in these last days, you got to stand in your order, redeeming the time, knowing we have much time left, very short time left on the earth, and don't have much more time to get right with ourselves, get right with the Most High. So you got to redeem the time. You got to never faint in your watches. You got to be diligent and circumspect in these last days. And with that, I bid a strong shalom. Continue to watch for these prophecies. Kwame Asherallah, shalom.